basketball 7-1 in league play, coming off a win last Saturday at Georgia Tech. They've been idle since, took Monday off because of the ice storm. And so they are back in action against a Pittsburgh team coming off a win Tuesday in overtime when they beat Wake Forest. Panthers on defense first with their blue uniforms. Clemson with the home whites. They go inside to the big man, number 22, Carter Welling. And the junior from Draper, Utah, has us underway.
I love Carter Welling. His ability to go inside and use his length effectively on both sides of the floor is a huge factor why Tigers are the number 2 ranked defense in the ACC.
And again this afternoon, Jeff Capel will have his leading scorer, Brandon Cummings, coming off the bench. DeMarco Minor at the point. This is Omari Witherspoon, the game-winning shot in overtime the other day against Wake Forest, an emerging freshman. And a reach-in foul as Barry Dunning Jr. carved his way along the baseline.
Hey, Barry Dunning Jr. is a star. This guy goes 6'6", 195 pounds. He's got 21 blocks. He leads the team, but he can put the ball on the floor and create his own shot at any point in time that he wants.
Barry Dunning Jr., senior from Mobile, Alabama, shooting 2. He's been one of the big additions this year for Jeff Capel III and his staff in year number 8. And Dunning has delivered to the tune of 12 points, 5 rebounds per game, and he can put up points. Last February, when he was playing at South Alabama, he scored 46 points against Texas State. He gets 1 out of 2. The ball back tapped all the way to the backcourt, tracked down by DeMarco, nicknamed Polo, Minor. Minor's another one of the newcomers for Pitt this year who has done very well, a senior from Allen, Texas. Corin lost the ball out of bounds, but he will keep it. Last to touch, Clemson.
Yeah, and that's what Corin can do, right? All the way out above the three-point line. He is looking to be in attack mode. He wants to take the fight right to this Tigers defense.
Minor checked by Justin Porter. And here's Corin, shot clock down to 7. Witherspoon picked up his dribble, in a bit of trouble, gets it back from Corin. He fires for 3. And the Panthers still looking for their first bucket of the afternoon.
Excellent backs out that time by RJ Godfrey, trying to keep Roman Siulepa off that offensive glass. The kid's got 24 offensive rebounds in his last 3 basketball games. That's averaging 8 a game. That's unheard of.
That's pretty good. Same starting lineup now for 10 straight games for Brad Brownell. This is a balanced Clemson team. They don't have a true star. They don't have a guy. They may not even have an all-ACC player at the end of the day, and they could win the regular season in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
I like that. You got a bunch of dogs out there that just love playing hard for one another. You're right. The main guy averages 12 points a game.
And there is the leader, Dylan Hunter. He and RJ Godfrey are the veterans on this team. Hunter is a 4-year Clemson Tiger who sets the tone.
Yeah, don't be surprised if Tigers start a little slow. There's a live ball turnover. Goes Roman Siulepa to the other end.
And the Panthers take the early lead 3-2. Roman Siulepa, the freshman from Brisbane, Australia, who has been on quite a roll as you're talking about, Scott.
Yeah, he's a rugby player. He was the #1 rugby player in Australia coming out of high school, and the guy decided to put on a pair of high tops and play basketball for the Pitt Panthers.
And this is really the first time in Siulepa's young life that he is focused on basketball. He had split time in Australia between rugby, as you mentioned, and basketball. And so over the last couple of months, he's gotten himself in better shape. He's gotten a better feel for what the Panthers are doing in basketball, and the numbers have just exploded.
Yeah, you see the last 3 games. 3 double-double. I mentioned the 24 offensive rebounds. He had 15 points and 15 rebounds last game out. Coach Capel says he was the last one to arrive on campus and wasn't in good basketball conditioning. Now he is finding himself in good conditioning, actually great conditioning, and is being so much more effective on the floor.
RJ Godfrey with a quick footwork, and he is fouled. A blocking foul will send number 0 to the free throw line. Well, you can see the physicality of RJ Godfrey. 6'7", 240. The senior from Sewanee, Georgia is back. And here's the matchup we were looking for. Corin trying to stay in front.
Yeah, flashing the footwork that time. Spun off of Corin. And Corin cannot get in foul trouble. In fact, that's what Coach Capel said against this big Tigers defense or offensive attack. He cannot get in foul trouble because they don't have the size all the way to match up with all the bigs that the Tigers have.
Well, we have the two longest tenured head coaches in the ACC in this game. Brad Brownell, year number 16 is the longest, and he has had his way with Pittsburgh over the years. He is 14-2 all time at Clemson playing Pittsburgh, and actually in this matchup, he and Coach Capel go back to their days coaching in the CAA when Brownell was at UNCW and Coach Capel was at VCU, and the numbers, it's incredible. Brad Brownell lifetime against Jeff Capel is 16-3.
Yeah, who's your daddy? Wow, that's just some numbers right there. He has taken them to the woodshed. Coach Brownell looking for his 200th home victory here for the Tigers to win tonight.
Under 5 to shoot. Witherspoon travel. Clemson defensively rock solid to begin the ball game.
Yeah, both teams going to start a little cold, right? It's cold outside, it's a little cold in here. Clemson, their last time out, they had to have a buzzer beater 3 to get a single possession advantage at Georgia Tech, and then they went on and got on a 16-4 run to start the second half. I don't know if they'll wait to the second half here at home, but the runs for Clemson, when they come in a bunch.
Nick Davidson tries to get to the left hand, missed the shot off the window, and there's a rebound for Siulepa.
I like the fact that both teams are going inside for buckets. You're struggling from the outside, you got to attack the basket.
Siulepa from the corner. Air ball long.
The fans are going to let him know about that. Yeah, that three-point shot's still a work in progress. He can knock him down, but he's a streaky three-point shooter.
Yeah.
If he's missing early, he generally misses for the rest of the game.
Yeah, streaky is right. Going into the Penn State game back on December 21st, he was only 3 of 20 from deep. And in that game against the Nittany Lions, Siulepa was 5 for 6. So he can make them, just isn't doing it consistently yet.
Yeah, it'll come. He's still young.
Here's Corin. A little too strong. Siulepa, like he does, has a knack for offensive rebounding. He's got his first here this afternoon. Slow start at Littlejohn, tied at 3 early. Keeping this thing humming, and at least they get to keep the basketball floor down for the women's game tomorrow. A little easier night, hopefully, tonight.
They get a little night off, but I thank those guys because we get to do basketball because they put in all that hard work. And I tell you what, it's been a little chilly to start so far. Just 1 of 5 shooting for the Tigers and 1 of 4 for the Panthers. So hopefully one of these teams will heat up, as we got Davidson and Siulepa down there wrestling on the block, and they're going to get a foul on Roman Siulepa. Is that his second?
Yeah, that is his second. On the other side, Jake Walleen's got 2 fouls as well. I also want to mention the facilities crew here, because of all the ice last week and then the snow that is coming down now. They have had to deal with laying down salt and moving ice and moving snow. So they have been extremely busy and continue to do it. And I got to say, considering the fact that they're forecasting 4 to 6 inches today of snow, which they don't get here, that may as well be 4 to 6 feet around here.
Correct.
There are a lot of people in this building who have figured out a way to get here and hopefully able to get home safely afterwards.
Yeah, I was staying about 20 minutes away, and I was in a Ford F-150, and I was going about 35 miles. I've forgotten how to drive in the snow from my days in Chicago. So kudos to all the folks that came out for this action today.
Carter Welling able to carve out space inside. He's every bit of 6'10", 240, and really athletic, Scott.
Yeah, Carter Welling, he's got both of the field goals tonight, doesn't he? Carter Welling getting it done here, trying to get his team off of this launch pad here. We played 5 minutes. Either team can get going.
It's been 2.5 minutes since Pittsburgh got its only bucket. Brandon Cummings, their leading scorer, has come into the game, number 3 in blue, and so he's instant offense. How about that for a stroke? Damarco Minor at 37% on the year. He has had a couple of stops previously, and I can tell you Jeff Capel and his crew are happy to have him in the Pitt uniform this season.
Yeah, D. Minor is fantastic. He didn't shoot the ball very good, just 1 of 6 from the outside, but he found the range on that one. There's a bucket inside. So after not being able to score, we get back-to-back buckets by both squads.
Well, the pass fake by Justin Porter made the student section behind us go, ooh. 7-6, Tigers back in front. Noyes Andrusitis, number 25 for Pittsburgh, into the game as well. He can shoot it, averaging over 8 points per game. Dunning is fouled. That personal is going to go against Welling.
Well, go back to this one here by Pittsburgh. Just a little push inside, little V-step to the outside, clear some space from the defender, knock down the jump shot, and then I love this one right there. Splitting the defense. Always like those little guys that can go in amongst the trees and attack the rack.
Well, Minor had a huge 3 to beat Ohio State earlier this season. It was back in late November in what's probably Pittsburgh's biggest win of the season so far. Now Carter Welling has 2 personals.
Well, this is what Big Corin loves to do. He likes to use those big wide shoulders in that 240-pound frame and stick him right into the chest of the defender and get those foul calls. He gets to the line quite a bit on the season. He's one of about a handful of guys in the ACC averaging 12 points and 8 boards. This kid gets it done.
Coming up next, we'll send you to McCamish Pavilion for Caleb Wilson and number 16 North Carolina squaring off in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. Yeah, Corin leads this Pittsburgh team with 6 double-doubles on the year, and he is 3rd in the ACC, averaging over 34 minutes per game, and that has had to change throughout the season for Jeff Capel. He put together what he thought was going to be a bigger, stronger, older front line, but Papa Amadou Kanti is out for the season. Lost in late November to an injury against Ohio State. And probably the bigger loss is Deshaun Jackson, who because of a heart condition is out for the season. Justin Porter buries his second 3 of the afternoon. And so without Deshaun Jackson, Cam Corin has had to play far more minutes and far more in the 5 position as opposed to playing his more natural 4.
Yeah, and he played 40 minutes against Wake Forest the other day, and he was only able to get up 3 field goal attempts. That seems, for your best player to only get 3 shots, seems like something that you wouldn't spell a recipe for success, and you get the victory. But he's unselfish. But today here, he's got to be more selfish. He's got to get himself 10, 12, 15 field goal attempts.
There's Corin handing it off to Cummings, the sophomore from Midland, Pennsylvania. Grew up a Pitt Panthers fan, attending the Peterson Event Center, going to work out there with his older brother who also played for Pitt. Somehow able to get the ball to Corin, who missed the shot. Clemson with it. The Tigers have gone to their bench. This is Ace Buckner who brought it up. Buckner's got it back. Porter's heated up a bit. He's got 5 quick points. Clemson's made its last 3 from the floor. Godfrey draws the double team. Corin knocks it away. 3 on the shot clock, but a Johnson for 3. Pittsburgh's defense excellent on that possession.
Yeah, RJ Godfrey came over and provided some help against the big fella inside that was having his way, and it really just put an end to that Pitt attack. That's exactly what these Tigers do. They play defense by committee. They give up nothing easy once the ball gets below the free throw line.
Under 12 minutes to go first half. From the corner, no good for Andrusitis. Got a foul down inside. Nick Davidson, a lot bigger than Brandon Cummings, who is going to be called for the personal foul as we head to break. As a freshman in the ACC.
Yeah, Coach Capel says that at times he has on this team, there's guys that hang their head when they don't do something well. But obviously Witherspoon that time showed that he had the moxie to come back and take the big shot in overtime to give his team the victory. I love that.
And Witherspoon was a recruit who Brad Brownell and his staff coveted. They offered him as well. Second turnover for Clemson, but a Johnson called for traveling. But Witherspoon was offered by Clemson, Virginia Tech, Vanderbilt, West Virginia, Maryland, and Butler. But it was Pittsburgh where he wanted to be for his 4-year career.
Well, we had a chance to talk to Coach Capel before the game, and I see why he would like to come here. I would want to play for Coach Capel. He is just a motivating coach that just instills confidence in his players. They're going to travel.
Right down the lane, Kieran Mullen off the bench with 2 points. Pittsburgh's first made bucket in over 3 minutes.
Yeah, and they need to get a bump off of that bench, so because Clemson certainly is going to get a bump off of theirs.
Tell you what, Nick Davidson has a pretty stroke. The numbers are 33%, but when he's got his feet set and a little bit of room, he's really, really good.
Yeah, he's one of these bigs that can stretch the floor, so you don't have to play pick and roll with him all the time. You can pick and pop him, and he can find that range in transition as a trail big as well.
Terrific ball movement by Pittsburgh. Minor off the shot fake. Able to find Barry Dunning flying in for the follow slam.
Barry Dunning flashing the hops down there. You got to put a body on number 22. Nice highlight reel dunk for Barry Dunning.
Well, the two-time Mr. Basketball in the state of Alabama was a big-time recruit coming out of high school, out of McGill-Tulane Catholic in Mobile. And he spent his freshman year playing for Eric Musselman at Arkansas, top 100 recruit. He didn't find his way until last season when Dunning went home to South Alabama and played for his hometown team, the Jaguars. And he has really blossomed over the last 2 years.
Yeah, look at Coach Capel there, realizes, hey, I'm playing against a tough defensive team. Let's not make it easier for them by having sloppy passes and unforced errors.
Shot clock winding down. Clemson still works the ball around, but it's taken away by DeMarco Minor. The rejection at the other end by a sprinting Dylan Hunter. But Johnson went to the other side. I think if he goes straight up on the left side, he's got an easier lane to the basket.
Probably accurate, but he's trying to get the foul. That was his main point right there, going from one side of the floor to the other as he get into the body of the defender. See this one more time here. Get that block shot on one end, and then Clemson's off the other way. They protect their basket, I'd say, as good, if not better, than any team in the ACC. That's why they're #2 defensively.
So at the free throw line, the former UAB Blazer spent the last 3 years for Andy Kennedy down in Birmingham. Butta Johnson makes the front end. Well, tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, after our men's basketball quadruple header right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the day in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every men's game and look ahead at the best matchups on the schedule in the coming week. What an afternoon of ACC basketball we've got here on the network today. The first of 4. We will send you to Atlanta following us. Chance to see the best front court in the ACC. Caleb Wilson and Henry Veasar for the Tar Heels are as dynamic a 1-2 punch as anybody in the country.
The ACC is fantastic this year. I mean, pretty much top to bottom. Every squad is loaded.
Indrasitis misses the 3. The ball pinballs out of bounds, and there is question between the officials who was last to touch.
It's officials, it's the players. It's all new to me now. These guys sticking that one finger in the air and waving it around in a circle. It's just something that we never used to have there. But you can see it bounced off of Butta Johnson's right shoulder and out of bounds.
And so Pittsburgh keeps. Shot clock at 16. Just past the midway point of the first half here at Little John Coliseum with Scott Williams, the former Tar Heel. I'm Doug Sherman. Mullen had it poked away on his drive to the basket by Porter. Clemson comes away with it, but then nearly lost it. Now Butta Johnson will dribble into the front court.
You know, Pittsburgh, just when they think they got a bucket, Clemson stops them at the rim, and that's like a 5-point turnaround as it's 3-point shot the other way goes in from the right corner.
Yeah, Dylan Hunter, his first 3 points, but he impacts winning as well as anybody for Clemson. Had a great conversation with him after practice yesterday. He's got a 3-to-1 career assist-to-turnover ratio. Minor no. And the man who grabbed the rebound, Dylan Hunter, said he manipulates the game. He has learned in his 4 years here at Clemson how to handle the game and how with his mind to control what goes on out on the floor on both ends. Here he is with it. Tries for another 3-ball. This one rattles out.
Well, Pittsburgh right now, they're searching hard for some offense. They don't have Corn out there. Siulepa's not out there. It's got to be Witherspoon and Dunning to be able to provide some offense here for them.
Minor drive and dish. Dunning, no. Johnson with another rebound.
But look how good Clemson is defensively, right? We already saw a couple of buckets inside get denied. They knock the ball away. They get turnovers. They challenge the three-point line. There goes Godfrey to the rack.
Another good look for the Tigers, who have made 5 of their last 8 from the floor, and Godfrey will be at the line shooting 2 when we come back.
A heart and desire to go get that basketball anytime it goes up on that glass.
Meanwhile, RJ Godfrey, the senior from Sewanee, Georgia, back with Clemson this year after one season down in Athens, Georgia. He is back home where he wanted to be right along, and happy to be closing out what has been a noteworthy career. He was a key piece on that Elite 8 team a couple of years ago. Makes the second, and the Tigers lead by 9 over the Panthers.
This is my second time getting my eyeballs up and close and personal on Godfrey Jr., and I just love the way this guy plays basketball. He's an old school 90s basketball player. He plays physical. He plays tough. He's kind of like he and what Carter Welling are like the steak and lobster. It doesn't matter which one's steak, which one's lobster, but when you got them both, it's good things. It takes real good recipe out there.
Witherspoon spots up and only hits the glass off to the left.
Yeah, well into foul trouble, and they're getting some good minutes from Davidson. Not only knocking down shots, he's controlling that defensive glass, is what Carter Welling generally does. There's an illegal screen along the baseline. Godfrey doesn't like it, but I think the official is correct.
Well, the fouls are piling up. We've got 5 different players with 2 personal fouls. That was RJ Godfrey's first. But we haven't seen nearly as much of Roman Siulepa as we thought we would coming in, because he picked up 2 early fouls. So Siulepa has 2. Brandon Cummings has 2 coming off the bench for Pitt. And then for Clemson, Jake Wallin and Carter Welling have 2 fouls.
Yeah, Coach Capel realizes, hey, I got 11 points here. We only got 6 minutes and 45 seconds to play. He got Corin and Siulepa back in this basketball game.
Well, they're now 1 of 12 from beyond the 3-point line, and they're getting farther off the mark as the game goes.
Yeah, it's hard to make outside shots when you haven't made any shots. And that time they're going to foul, box it out. I think Davidson got the bad end of this one here. He's trying to box out Corin, who's like wrestling an alligator down there on that block. So he was kind of holding on. The officials going to give him the whistle for it.
First foul on the senior from Mission Viejo, California. And now the whistle goes the other way as those 2 bang again. This time it goes against Pittsburgh's Cameron Corin.
Yeah, I think they got Corin down there. He said he likes the right block better. So he's down here trying to fight on that left block, and just that little left arm. You can put it into the defender, but as soon as that you start getting that space underneath your armpit, and that left arm starts leaving your body frame too much, official's going to blow that whistle every time.
And so Scott Corin joins the growing list of players with 2 personals, and now Davidson's going to pick up a foul for running over Damarco Minor. So that's the 2nd foul on Nick Davidson.
Well, these officials like their whistles today. They're blowing that quite a bit, but you can see Davidson with his 2nd quick foul now, on one on the defensive end, that one on the offensive end. When you try to set that high screen as a big, you have to make sure, even if you stop a little short of where you're supposed to be, that you get your feet set. Anytime the officials see your feet or your shoulders moving into the defender, they're going to blow that whistle.
Now, I would think, with all the fouls, you are very much right at home, Scott Williams.
I knew you were going to go there. I just knew you were going there, Dougie.
ACC leader in personal fouls.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's something Jordan never did at Carolina. So, I led Carolina in fouls just about every one of my 4 years. And as a result, you become the all-time ACC fouls leader. So I can always hang my hat on that.
It worked out in a 15-year NBA career 5:45 remaining in the half. Terrific defense by the freshman Witherspoon to block that shot. And here come the Panthers trying to get themselves back on the board. And I'll tell you what, Kieran Mullen, the 7-foot freshman from British Columbia, has given them a nice spark.
He was the last one I wrote down on my games notes for today. And you're right, he's given him a great bump off of that bench. His wheels, after that rebound was secured, to get out in transition and get that bucket before the Tigers could set their defense.
RJ Godfrey is wobbled in the lane as play continues, and now they're going to stop. He must have taken a shot to the head, because clearly you'd give him a standing 8 count if this was boxing.
Yeah, I don't know if he got it in the forehead, the eyeball, or the nose, but you're right. He's not feeling real good right now. Officials stopped play. I thought a player had to leave the court if they stopped the play. They're going to let him play on.
We're going to keep an eye on him. I'm not sure he is 100% yet.
Get the smelling salt out there. Do they use that in basketball anymore?
I don't.
Is that just football?
Back in your day, maybe.
No, we had everything back in the day.
Witherspoon off the bounce.
Again, one and done mostly for this Pitt Panthers offensive attack.
Shooting only 23% from the floor here in the first half of the Panthers. Chase Thompson backing down on Mullen, who's going to be called for the foul. Let's take a look at what happened to RJ Godfrey.
Yeah, when that shot goes up, it generally gets physical. You can see a couple of Panthers colliding right into Godfrey. It didn't look like he took an elbow, so that's a good thing. Maybe just a shoulder, and he'll be able to shake that off and continue on. He's tough as nails, this kid.
That foul was on Makari Moore, his third, as the foul shot is made by Chase Thompson. RJ Godfrey comes from a tough athletic family. He's Randall Godfrey Jr. His father was an All-American linebacker at Georgia, where he roomed, by the way, coincidentally, with Dylan Hunter's father, Bryce. And Randall Sr. had 11 years in the NFL. His son apparently not, I mean, he looks like he could play tight end or defensive end in the NFL, but he doesn't have any want to do that. He wants to play professional basketball after his college days are done here at Clemson. Witherspoon lost it.
I am so impressed with the way the Tigers slide their feet, the way they hold their ground, the way they go at their defensive glass. You know, you mentioned it. No stars on this team, right? Probably not going to get a first-team All-ACC performer. Maybe not a second team. Maybe not even an honorable mention.
Right. Brad Brownell told us yesterday that it's very real that his team might not have anybody on any of the All-ACC teams. Hard to believe for somebody whose team is right now just one game back of Duke in second place in the race for the regular season title.
Yeah, second place. They're 22 in the country. They're 17-4, and as you mentioned, 7-1 in the ACC. There's a good defensive stop for Pittsburgh. Let's see if they can get that rebound and try to attack before Tigers can set their D.
Dunning lobs inside, a little too tall for Siulepa. Panthers cough it up again. Clemson on a 12-2 run over the last 6 minutes. Ace Buckner into the trees, and it's a blocking foul against Pittsburgh. So once again, we'll take a break and have free throws for Clemson on the other side.
Attack.
I'm too busy distracting you here. Excuse me, Scott.
I'm
just enjoying your stuff.
You're all good, my friend. I mean, listen, I couldn't score 6 points in an empty gym.
Oh,
so to watch these guys go out here, I was a defensive guy. You know that,
Come
Dougie.
on now.
And
I loved your game, except for that March day in '87 at the Meadowlands. Other than that, I was rooting for you.
Yeah, that's where we're going to get your Syracuse orange. But this is the way basketball is meant to play. You play defense, and you get out in transition. You score when you have an opportunity. If not, you set it up. You move the ball around. You take a couple ticks off of the glass, off the clock rather, and you score. You try to score inside. And look at the job. Even though they gave up an offensive rebound, the second shot opportunity again comes from outside the paint.
Godfrey, no, but there to clean it up, his fellow senior Dylan Hunter.
Yeah, Godfrey can't really get going, but it's the relentless attack of going inside. They're not shooting a high percentage yet. They got a 15-point lead. They haven't scored 30 points yet. We're under 3 minutes to go.
Well, Pittsburgh has more turnovers than made field goals so far today, and the cold shooting continues now. 1 of 16 from distance.
Yeah, and if, you know, Coach Capel, and he knows his squad better than me, and obviously he's got some guys in some foul trouble here. He doesn't want to get them another foul right before the half. But you got to get more pick and roll. You got to get more punch inside. You got to get more attack with that ball below the free throw line. RJ Godfrey just going to work along that baseline. What a spin move. That was electric.
Left the freshman Witherspoon in his dust. Godfrey with a reverse makes it 30-13. 2 minutes to go in the first half.
You must have heard me talking bad about how he hadn't done anything in the first half. He said, put that in your mouth, Williams.
Witherspoon back outside Minor. Steps back for the contested three. Tell you what, Hunter did everything he could to stick with him. That's just a really nice shot by Minor.
Yeah, it really was. He's had a couple Pitt players have had that where they've kind of attacked into the defense. And Clemson's so programmed to give ground and not get beat on the drive that Panthers have been able to size up those outside shots.
Johnson, like butter for three.
That's great. Buddy Johnson is one of these guys that he comes off that pine, but he's not a starter, but he has the starter's mentality. So if he's got a little space on the floor, he will fire it up.
You know, Clemson came into the season with 10 players. Brad Brownell wanted to play regularly and used line changes like hockey, 5 in, 5 out, and he loved the practice setup so that everybody got valuable minutes on the floor. But when Zach Foster went down with a season-ending torn ACL in his right knee against South Carolina back in mid-December, Coach Brownell has had to adjust things a little bit. Still has depth, just not as much, and they can't play as fast as he wanted to at the start of the year.
No, he can't play as fast, but he doesn't need to, right? He doesn't need to have a bunch of guys that can knock in a bunch of threes. He just has to have, it's like a mudslide. It's exactly what Pitt has had happen to him. It's not like a one quick flash flood. It's just like a slow-moving mudslide. You just keep taking the guys out one at a time, taking a player out, taking the ball to the basket, getting a guy in foul trouble, getting an offensive rebound, and now they're enjoying a huge advantage here going into the break.
Did Dylan Hunter beat the buzzer? He did not. There was no panic. He was still trying to direct traffic, but he didn't get RJ Godfrey on the floor where he wanted to and didn't get the shot up in time.
Well, you know, listen, and that's not the worst thing, though, right? So you get the shot clock violations, 32 seconds to go. You got all the momentum of this half. You don't want to give Pittsburgh a live ball turnover trying to make a forced pass or try to make something happen that gives them an easy opportunity to score where they feel a little bit better about themselves going into the break. Right now, they're kind of down in the mouth, and they don't have an answer for this Tigers defense.
Well, Clemson on a 13-3 run over the last nearly 5 minutes. The man with the basketball, DeMarco Minor, the only Pitt player to score during that time. Minor with Hunter trying to stay with him. Now on the switch, Chase Thompson. Minor for three. Dunning gets it to Cummings. Pitt's leading scorer, Cummings, is scoreless as we head to the intermission.
Ball with one another. So even if somebody does make a mistake, defensively, they got somebody right behind them to pick them up.
Meanwhile, Pittsburgh offensively had its lowest scoring half of the year. They had scored just 22 a couple of times. They go inside for two to Roman Siulepa, and he has a chance for three, and maybe that is where they can get some offense going.
Give Coach Capel a big bump right there, fist bump for going inside to his freshman who was on the struggle bus in that first half, and well, with the foul trouble, they pumped the ball right inside to him, and I love the fact that he takes his time. He's patient for a freshman around that basket. He plays with power, concentration after the contact, and he finishes off the three-point play. And look at now, Pittsburgh getting up and throwing a little more pressure on the ball defensively in the backcourt.
Yeah, foul trouble is going to be a thing here in the second half. Siulepa and Mullen have 3 apiece for Pittsburgh. That was the second on RJ Godfrey. And he and 3 of his teammates, all with 2 fouls here early in the second half. Nick Davidson, Jake Walling, and Carter Welling. Here's Cam Corrin, and Pittsburgh on its second possession gets right to the rim.
Corrin with a big screen that take the ball hard to the baseline. You take 2 defenders with you, and Corrin with the good hands in traffic, able to finish. Like I said, he can finish right, he can finish late. That's the Corrin we were hoping to see in the first half.
Well, in that first half, he played only 9 minutes, was 0 for 3 from the floor. So you think about their 2 physical guys inside. Siulepa and Corrin had a combined 2 points in the first half. They've already scored 5 together here in the second. That's the 3rd foul on Cam Corrin, a huge problem for Pitt.
I was hoping that wasn't on Corrin. We want to see a good basketball game today. We can't have all these guys in foul trouble sitting on the bench.
Justin Porter inbounds for Clemson. RJ Godfrey out there along with Jake Walling. Here's their point guard Dylan Hunter, who comes and takes the basketball, picked up on the switch by Siulepa. Porter attacks from the left side. It was blocked. I believe that might have been Dunning who got a piece. And now the foul against Indrusitis. More free throws coming for Clemson.
Yeah, I think it was Carter Welling that got a right hand on that ball to keep it alive. And Walling, I tell you, this kid, don't sleep on him. He didn't have a big first half, but he can get hot real quick from the outside, stroking triples. He's got live legs, too. He can get to the basket in transition as well. So you see the size of Walling, Welling, and RJ Godfrey. That's tough for any team in the ACC, and especially this undersized Pitt squad.
Yeah, Walling is a Utah transfer from a football family, and you can see it. He's 6'10", 210. His dad, Rick, played football in the late 80s at BYU, and his grandfather, Marvin Walling, played fullback at Arizona State and was a Chicago Bears draft pick. Good stock here for Clemson. A lot of size, as you say, Scott, from top to bottom.
Yeah, and we didn't really even see a healthy dose of Ace Buckner. Another kid, his dad, Greg Buckner, played in the NBA when I was in the league, and they get another stop down here. So the Tigers got back to doing what they did in that first half, creating those turnovers.
Yeah, there's Ace Buckner, had just 1 made free throw. The redshirt freshman from Dallas, who Coach Brownell says is his most competitive player on the team, a hard worker. And as you mentioned, his dad, Greg, played here in the mid to late 90s and was so good. Welling tried to go to the left hand, couldn't. And the foul with Damarco Minor grabbing the rebound. And if it's on Walling, that is his 3rd personal. Well, he had such a good game last Saturday at Georgia Tech. Walling with 13 points. His 2nd best outing of the year. First time in double figures since early December. But he's not been able to get it going thanks in large part to foul issues today. Just a couple of points, both from the free throw line.
Yeah, but then they can come back with Nick Davidson, too, if they want to here in a little bit, and give him some run. He's got some size, and he had a nice little first half as well.
Minor gives it back to Siulepa. Got it.
Well, we talked about Siulepa not having a great outside stroke, but he's certainly capable. And when you let him get right in front of that basket, sometimes those 3-point shots, if you get your feet set, just become long free throws. Has a little miscommunication, and Godfrey throws it out of bounds.
Well, Siulepa has 3 consecutive double-doubles, and current Washington Wizard Justin Champagnie, the last Pitt player with 4 in a row back in 2021. We've talked about the rebounding prowess of Siulepa, and in talking with Jeff Capel before the ball game, he does think his upside, if he continues to progress down the road, could be in the NBA. Pitt perfect 3 for 3 from the floor to start this second half, while Clemson still looking for its first made bucket. Down under 5 seconds. Tough shot. Did it catch iron? Apparently not. It's a shot clock violation, but the Panthers do believe it did catch the side of the rim, so they're going to take another look, I believe.
Yeah, I think the officials were in agreement that that ball hit backboard and then kind of the low side of that left side of the rim. So they're going to take a quick look at this one. I am sure they're going to put some more time back on that shot clock.
Yeah, and actually Ron Groover has already signaled to us that they're going to reset the shot clock. Because the officials
under review for a potential shot clock violation.
Well, the officials seem to be in agreement, but they are going to take a look just to make sure. Our officials, Jeff Pond, Jerry Heater, and Ron Groover, take another look. Did it catch the left side of the rim?
Yeah, Andrew Sidis, no, he was up against that shot clock. And I'll tell you what, I'm not sure. You think it did?
I think it did.
I think it hit net. I couldn't see if it actually hit rim. So we'll probably slow it down and get another quick look at it. But he was trying to do the right thing and get it up on that rim. But again, you look at that Clemson defense. Like, you're making your final attack with under 2 seconds to go in the shot clock. You can't consistently do that with success.
Noyes Indrisitis, the sophomore from Lamont, Illinois.
After review, the ball hit the rim. Pittsburgh ball, side out of bounds.
Teach me how to Dougie. You are always on top of these. I'm probably about 50%. You're probably closer to 95%.
Well, that's not true at all. That, you're telling stories right there, Mr. Williams.
Well, either way, it looks like Pitt's going to have an opportunity to take this thing out on the side with 19 seconds to operate. Now, they had a chance to rally with Coach Capel. Good, well-coached teams. Their baseline out of bounds and the sideline out of bounds plays. You got to be successful if you want to be a good team, especially in the ACC. Here, a little high pick and roll.
Omari Witherspoon into the lane. Tough shot, got the whistle, and he will shoot two.
Well, Clemson makes it work for everything, and it looked like Witherspoon initially had the advantage, but boy, do these Tigers clamp down defensively in that paint. Look at that, 4 Tigers around that basketball, and then Witherspoon has to make a great move with some footwork, turning away from that defense and got just enough body contact that he got that trip to the line. But when you got to go against that type of defense consistently, it makes it real tough. But listen, they have cut into that 15-point or 17-point halftime deficit. Now we got ourselves a single digit deficit now.
35-26. Omari Witherspoon has made 2 foul shots today. That's the sum total of his offense so far. Tigers, first 3.5 minutes of the second half, have struggled against this Pittsburgh defense to get it going.
They picked it up, right? Like it seemed like there's a better body language out of the Panthers here after they had some chance to go to the break and look at some film in the locker room.
Well, Nick Davidson that time got great position and able to lay it over the rim.
Yeah, was that Davidson or Welling? Those guys, they look a lot like that. I think that might have been Carter Welling down there using that spin move along the basket.
No, it was Davidson.
It was Davidson. You're right. Okay.
Witherspoon, straight line drive, and his first made bucket makes it 37-28.
Well, a rare opportunity after a made bucket for Pitt to score inside, and they capitalize. So now after a slow first half, it seems like both teams here starting to pick it up for this last 60 seconds.
Timeout here inside Littlejohn as Pittsburgh's trying to make a ball game of it.
Yeah, nice little spin move down there by the California kid using that right-hand hook, and then another good move with the footwork, taking it hard to the rack. I'm gonna say, I don't think I had much success in this building, and except for the one year we went 14-0 in the ACC. Those Tigers are tough here in Littlejohn. That's back when the court went the opposite direction.
Right, it was 90 degrees different before the renovation, so you ran what would be the wrong way, the way Littlejohn is here now. Foul against Damarco Minor. And those are the good old days of the ACC when you went to every building every year, and so the Tar Heels, when you lost, on the occasion you lost, you expected a court storm.
Yeah, and Eldon Campbell and Dale Davis, the 2 Tigers' main attack there, they were fantastic.
All right, well, let me tell you.
Oh, go ahead.
You had 7 points, 11 rebounds, but the best news was only 4 fouls. You didn't foul out.
Listen, just because I was the all-time ACC fouls leader, I didn't always foul out of basketball games. They gave me 5, and I think I averaged about 4.5 over the course of my career.
Well, as we showed in that highlight, the great Eldon Campbell was 7 of 15 in that game, 17 points in his 31 minutes, and we again keep him in mind. You faced him in the NBA Finals in '91 as well, as he played for the Lakers and you played for the Chicago Bulls. Nick Davidson with the dunk as Clemson once again makes it a double-figure lead, and the folks here in Clemson, South Carolina, were so shocked late last year when Eldon died suddenly, and his name still hangs here in the rafters, and He's still, after all these years, the all-time leading scorer in the history of this program.
Yeah, a great Tiger and a sad loss for not only Tiger Nation, but also the fans of the NBA. Our NBA family was just shocked to get that news.
Siulepa with the finish.
I could do nothing with him. He had calves that were like, they looked like someone stuck bowling balls in the back of both of his legs. For a big, tall guy, he could jump out of the gym.
Carter Welling misses, and the rebound grabbed by Minor. And as we were looking at things today about Eldon Campbell, one statistic from his NBA days blew me away. Indricitis, off the window, no. Eldon Campbell is the third all-time career block shot leader in the history of the LA Lakers, behind, of course, Kareem and Shaq.
Kareem and Shaq, wow.
Eldon Campbell is number 3 on that incredible list.
Yeah, and Campbell, like I said, his athleticism, his ability to block and alter shots. He was just a tremendous player. Years later, we would face off in the NBA playoffs when he was playing for the Charlotte Hornets. And I still have bruises from that series from 2001.
Well, you saw the banners flanking him. What a golden era with Coach Ellis they had here at Clemson, with all those big guys that you had to deal with. That was a lot of size and strength in those days for Clemson, a lot like this group here, one of the biggest and strongest, if not the biggest and strongest, in the ACC in 2026. Here's a big part of it. Davidson, who transferred in, had a lot of suitors last spring, and he chose to come across the country and become a Clemson Tiger, along with his younger brother Blake Davidson, who is redshirting this year. But you know, Nick and Blake committed the day before their father passed away. And so the coaching staff, Brad Brownell, Billy Donlin, the rest of them have really played a key role in both brothers' acclimation. There's a wedgie by Nick. He doesn't like that. Their acclimation here to the east. And, you know, he is a Southern California. Nick Davidson, like you, 6'10" from Southern California. He's a surfer. Do you surf? Have you ever surfed?
I've never been on skis. I've never been on a surfboard. We used to use the old body boards, like the Moray Boogie body boards.
Right.
Lay down and catch the waves. We would ditch school after lunch and right down Beach Boulevard 35 minutes and go get in the ocean and do bodyboarding and body surfing. But I never got a surfboard.
RJ Godfrey, great position on Corin. Goes over that right shoulder for 2.
He's my favorite player on this Clemson squad. I know we're announcers, we're not supposed to have favorites, but I'm going to say it right now. I got a chance to talk to this kid briefly before, and he said, I'm powered by my faith, Scott. That's what I want you to let people know. And you can see right there, this kid, he's a big, strong young man. He is going to attack inside any chance he gets. And there's another one of those Clemson turnovers, kind of an unforced error. But look at the position. He's got the ball. He's done his work so early. He's gotten the ball down right on that restricted line. You know, that's a right shoulder turn, left-handed jump hook that he's shot thousands of times. You can make him that shot, he's going to make it 75, 80% of the time.
Now, we talked about the older generation of Godfreys and their physicality. RJ's best friends with his younger brother, Grant, who was a 4-star linebacker recruit out of Georgia, who is now a redshirt sophomore at Kentucky. RJ's kid brother, 6'3", 234. So you know they have beat the heck out of each other a time or two.
Your kid brother got to be pretty tough to play with RJ Godfrey. I'll tell you what, he's got the size to do it. Look at Godfrey going to work again. Flashing the footwork down on the block. Will not be stopped. RJ Godfrey, when you get him that ball kind of anywhere below that free throw line, he knows that's his time to shine, and he knows his team needs him to operate with efficiency down there in the paint. How many points he got now? He's up to 9. He's closing in on double figures.
Dunning, no. Siulepa always going after the offensive glass. He's fouled by Godfrey. That is the 3rd on RJ. You know, Brad Brownell told me yesterday the most pleasing thing to him this year with so many new faces is that all the personalities have meshed out of the transfer portal from the freshmen, and that the players who played bigger roles in other places, some in the mid-major level, have fully accepted and embraced their current role here at Clemson.
You can see it. It's on full display here in this basketball game today. These guys have a joy. I said it the first time. I'll say it again because it's so fun to watch. Some of the best teams to be a part of as a player, and even my short period of time in coaching, is when guys like playing for one another. I've been on some teams where that hasn't been the case. Allen Iverson, Philadelphia 76ers, where it is just miserable to show up every day. And you got guys that love playing for each other and have a joy for the game and don't care who gets the credit as long as the team gets the victory. That's the best place to be. And there's a hard-fought bucket inside. Is that Dunning?
No, that was Brandon Cummings. A wild shot, his first points of the day, the leading scorer on the season for Pitt. Well, RJ Godfrey is one of the real tone setters coming back to Clemson this year.
I love the way this kid operates. He's going against a 6'10", 240-pounder, and he took
the coaching, and so we are expecting something big from her, thanks to the coaching advice she's gotten from the men's associate, Billy Donlin. And I just think that's so neat that why not utilize those resources? You share the same facility, you know each other, and why not, if the men's coach sees something that he can help on the women's side and vice versa, you should do it.
Heck yeah, I love that. And I love a coach being a coach. Doesn't matter if one of my see a way to tweak a player's shot, you go help out.
Brandon Cummings, sophomore from Midland, PA.
A lot of time left in this game. You know, Clemson has not put Pitt away yet. They're still right there. A bucket here goes a long way to cut to that large deficit.
Davidson got tangled up with Dunning. And that goes against Nick Davidson.
Just the energy now, that's his third personal foul, but the energy for the Panthers is better here in the second half. You got Siulepa's crashing the offensive glass. He's in double figures now and scoring with 10 and 5, 2 O boards. There's an opportunity for an O board by Dunning. And now it's a chance for some second chance points.
Siulepa has been much more active in the second half. The foul trouble of the first half kept him in check, but he now leads the Panthers in the scoring column with a dozen.
And tell you, that's a rugby player going full speed in a spin move. Oh no, he just got his fourth down there reaching. But it's hard to teach that. I'm sure Coach Capel loves this raw talent that this kid has, and he's just going to get better as every game that he has an opportunity to be on the football. Look at that devastating spin move right there, right into your living room there, and finishing with the offhand. That is tremendous by this young freshman.
Yeah, 10 of his 12 points coming in the second half in these first 9 minutes, but back to the bench for Coach Capel with those 4 fouls. And so with that, Carter Welling at the line.
How good are the freshmen this year in the ACC? You know, hardly anybody even talks about Siulepa with all the other good freshmen, but I was looking at some of the numbers in the freshmen. 6,673 points. That's the most points in 15 years in Division I basketball by freshmen in the country. So I think the ACC is in pretty good shape if they can keep some of this young talent hanging around.
That's the key. Can you keep them and keep adding to it? Carter Welling makes pair free throws. He's one of 9 Tigers to score here this afternoon. Now, Witherspoon is not a natural one, but with the makeup of this roster for Pittsburgh, he's got more time as a freshman than they probably would like. But that sort of experience, I would think, Scott's going to help him down the road.
It's going to help him. Obviously, it's helping Siulepa each week, each month that goes by, his development. And I know Coach Capel is right now, you know, tied T14 here in the ACC, but his players play hard. Even though they make mistakes, they continue to play hard for Coach.
11th Pittsburgh turnover today. Clemson with it. Wallin inside. Welling to the left hand. Again, great position. You got to get your work done defensively before the ball gets in there, and it was too late once the ball was in the post.
Right, the offense players, and we saw it once before with RJ Godfrey. This time, the big Welling, 6'11". Look at that interior pass. That's a foot outside the restricted area. Those are moves that these guys shoot in practice time and time again. I'm talking hundreds, if not thousands of times. They work on that right shoulder turn to their left hand. jump hook with the coach banging on him with the pad. So it becomes routine that now it's just muscle memory at that point, and you're going to shoot it, like I say, 75, 80% of those.
And during one of those drills yesterday at practice, Carter Welling was having a little fun. He was showing his personality while getting pounded on and still going up and throwing down dunk after dunk and giving out a big yell. There he is getting the rebound. He has been a big addition for Clemson this season.
I just like this kid, right? Just barely creeps in double-figure scoring. Now he's going to step outside, try his range from three. Don't know if Coach Brunell really wanted one at that point in time as he slumps his shoulders on the bench. Because you're pounding him inside. Like, why not just keep the success that you're having going to the basket?
Corin puts his shoulder into the midsection of Carter Welling and lays it in.
That's the second time we've seen big number 2 just pound guys inside with that right shoulder, using a little offhand.
Here's Welling. He is fouled. His defense is what really stuck out. Last year at Utah Valley, he was the Defensive Player of the Year in the WAC, second team All-Conference. Spent his first 3 years at UC Irvine. And so Welling closing out his college career, presumably here. He's got one more year of eligibility, I think, although I only say those things, well, with not a lot of confidence. The way things change, they move the goalposts and the finish line all the time. But I think Carter Welling has another year available to him after this one.
Yeah, and why wouldn't he want to come back, right? He came from Utah Valley, got a chance to see some of his action when I was with the Grand Canyon when they were out there in that Western Athletic Conference. I know this kid's ability. You can see the WAC Player of the Year in 24-25. This season, his numbers are down a little bit, but he enjoys the winning here on a larger stage. And Coach Brunell gave him a big slap on the backside, appreciating his efforts this afternoon.
And he's one of the guys Coach Brownell was talking about yesterday who has willingly, moving up to a power conference program, accepted a lesser role. That foul on Cameron Corin, his 4th, big number 2, with the basketball stays on for Pitt with over 9 minutes remaining in regulation.
Yeah, but Coach Capel doesn't really have a choice, right? Like, you're down by 15 points here. You got to get some offense, and he's the one guy that can provide it consistently.
And at this point, Pitt has 3 players with 4 fouls: Mullen, Siulepa, and Corin. So where do you go? Keep playing until you can't.
You stay with him, right? And you're hoping he can stay out of foul trouble. And you're hoping you can cut into that large deficit. And then maybe you can start, well, okay, maybe we'll get him out of here if we can cut into that deficit in the next 3-4 minutes. And then may have him fresh for the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Witherspoon uses the screen by Corin, finds a gap, and puts it in. Very nicely done for the freshman out of St. John's College High School in Washington, D.C.
But that's what you got to have, right? You got to have these guys help one another, score a little pick, get the defender on your backside. Now you get yourself back on balance, and that little mid-range jump shot is going to be true. Here's a turnover.
Quick hands by Makari Moore. Corin able to pay it off at the other end.
How about this? Just when they were just about ready to throw some dirt on top of the Panthers, they've come to life with back-to-back field goals.
It's an 11-point game. Hunter and Buckner in the backcourt along with Porter. Hunter. Filling in the gap behind him, Jake Wallin, beautifully found by the point guard, and a terrific stroke by the big man.
They cut him off inside, but we mentioned the first half, Wallin can step behind the arc and knock in the triple. Excellent offensive display there by the Tigers.
And for this Pitt Panthers basketball team, for the last 8 years, it's been all about family. Jeff Capel also has on staff his younger brother, Jason Capel, who, like yourself, Scott Williams, a former Tar Heel. They are, of course, from a coaching family. They lost their dad to ALS a number of years ago, and he was a marvelous coach as well. And you get that sense when you are around this Pitt program. A lot of people say it. For them, it truly is a family.
Yeah, it is a family. We got a chance to talk to him. He said he used to watch me play when I was at Carolina. His dad would take him to a lot of games. How the heck did he end up at Duke? What I want to know.
Moore tried to beat the shot clock and missed the iron, and so it's a shot clock violation, and that takes us to our under 8 media timeout. We'll step away and be back to Littlejohn in a moment.
Hard for a team to run their offense.
Nick Davidson with the basketball. Out there with Carter Welling, the size along with Jake Wallin. And then the two perimeter players, Justin Porter and Ace Buckner, who's got the basketball now. Just over 7 minutes to go here at Little John Coliseum. Clemson looking to improve to 18-4, 8-1 in conference play. Ace Buckner's first bucket is from downtown.
Yeah, he said he'd been quiet in that first half, and he's a hard-working kid, son of an NBA basketball player, and his dad will be real proud right there. A little step back. Was that a triple for Ace, stepping out there on the perimeter, knocking down the long ball?
Indeed it was. Where's number 21, just like his daddy used to do here at Clemson. Minor off the side iron. Witherspoon tracks it down. Corin into a double team. Siulepa takes an extra step. That's a traveling violation. Ace Buckner, all 6'3", 180 of him. He is a confident baller here for the Tigers.
Yeah, I love this right here, right? That's just that little inside-out move. You step back there, you get the defender just backpedaling enough that he loses his balance and then gives you the extra tick. Get back on balance yourself, and then you get a clean look at the outside shot.
4 points, 4 assists for Ace, whose uncle Andre Buckner played on Duke's 2001 national championship team. And Ace can't wait to get his first opportunity to actually play at Cameron. He's looking forward to the game February 14th, which could be for first place in the ACC. It's a game that'll be on ESPN.
That'll be a fun little family rivalry right there, right? His dad and then Ace and then his uncle. That'll be fun.
And oh, by the way, Duke is being pushed in Blacksburg, Virginia this afternoon. That's on ESPN. The Blue Devils under 4 minutes to go, lead by 6 over the Hokies.
Oh, they had a comfortable lead earlier in that game. Don't sleep on the Hokies. We were just up there last week. They have a good, solid basketball squad, and they like this Tigers team. They can ratchet up on the defensive end as well. Look at that bucket along the baseline by Davidson. This kid is having himself one heck of a basketball game. He's knocked down the outside shot. He's played big around the basket. And look at him out there directing the defense, being vocal.
Well, Davidson's out of Mater Dei High School. Same Santa Ana hoops power as Miles Simon, LeBron Ellis, Mike Hopkins, Bull Bowl. He's a good one.
Yeah, gets away with a little chicken wing right there. Wrap that around. Corin does. Siulepa does a nice job working the freshman along that baseline, and the guys that can always get from one side of the basket to the other, the ones that always impress me because I could never do it. I was strictly set to one side, locked in there, no spin move.
That was the third foul on Carter Welling. Corin missed the front end. And so no bonus. Now 5 minutes to go in regulation. The Tigers in control as they have been all game. Pitt led briefly early by a point, but it's been all Nick Davidson and the Clemson Tigers this afternoon.
Yeah, they put them up to the largest lead of the game now, up by 20, obviously, with under 5 to play. This one is well in hand. I just want to see these final 5 minutes for the Panthers. And they're not going to get this victory, but who's going to keep playing hard for the guys in the blue?
Omari Witherspoon can't get the roll. He gets his own miss. Had it poked away by Buckner. The ball comes to Pitt. And Minor looking to feed Corin. And Davidson picks up another foul. He got tangled up on the block with Cam Corin.
Tangled up's a nice way to put it. Big Corin putting those big arms on him. He was locked up down along that baseline. But this is what the young man can do on the offensive end. He's got the ability to stretch that defense.
Well, Nick picks up his 4th personal foul. He plans to attend law school after his basketball playing days are done. Corin gets the first. He'll get a second. Tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, after our men's basketball quadruple header right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. It's the Nothing But Net crew breaking down the day in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every single men's game here on ACC Network. Corin gets a pair. He's got 9 points along with 3 rebounds.
It hasn't been a typical Corin game, right? Like he's facing a big front line. But you can see the kid's got skills, right? You've seen him down there on that block now. Use his size real well. Use his footwork. real well. And you say, he's got that size and that frame and that want to. You might see him playing at the next level.
Good hustle by Barry Dunning to take that pass from Siulepa. It's been a quiet game for the senior from Mobile, just 5 points. It's a 16-point game.
Yeah, see, Pitt just didn't have enough of that. They didn't have enough opportunities, whether you got live ball turnovers or stops, and then had a chance to do runouts. And when you got to play against this Tiger set defense, you're in trouble. If you can get them in transition, you have much better success.
Yeah, the Tigers are not likely to beat themselves, right, Scott?
No, not at all. They're a well-coached bunch. Obviously, Coach Burnell, we talked about it with this win. 200 wins here at Clemson at home for Coach Burnell with this win.
57-year-old native of Evansville, Indiana, former Division III point guard at DePaul University. Brad Brownell's team and his program cooking these days, up 16 over Pittsburgh. Last night, they've got a women's game tomorrow. When are you going to get home and shovel the driveway? I don't know, but we appreciate it.
I'm stuck here. My flight was just canceled. I got to get a good restaurant recommendation. I'll be spending another night here down in the South.
Maybe a night or two. I don't know how they clear the runways.
Don't tell me that. They put me on they rebooked me on an 8 o'clock flight. You're saying that's not going to happen?
My guess would be no. Oh, you mean 8 a.m. tomorrow?
8 a.m. tomorrow, yeah.
Maybe.
Look at that by Minor. Now, he's got a couple outside triples here in this game. And this is what I wanted to see, right? Like, guys that don't scoreboard watch here at the end of the game. Guys that are going to keep competing. Those are the guys that Capel is going to want to have on his squad the rest of the year. Once the guys that are going to stay in that foxhole and fight for 40 minutes.
Well, Clemson is well on its way to beating Pittsburgh for the 15th straight time. RJ Godfrey's been a big part of the last several, or many of the last several. Got to remember he went to Georgia last year. Minor, good. So you know what? All 12 of his points have come on 3-point shots.
Yeah, four triples now. He had a couple in the first half, and then back-to-back threes right there. And it is a 10-point game. Maybe I'm the one throwing dirt on the Panthers too soon. 10 points with 2 minutes. That's not unheard of.
Can the Panthers get stops, and could they possibly score 10 points on their own in the last 150? Whistle and a foul off the ball.
Yeah, that's going to be 2 shots now. That's the double bonus for the Tigers.
And so Godfrey at the line as we take a look at the standings coming into the day. Lots of action. Most everybody on the schedule today. Duke is about 20 seconds away from beating Virginia Tech, leading 71-58. So those 2 scores will keep the top of the standings 1-2, Duke and Clemson. Elsewhere, North Carolina State is just about to beat Wake Forest in Winston-Salem. And then we're going to be followed by what should be a good ball game between North Carolina and Georgia Tech down in Atlanta. Just as soon as we are done here on the ACC Network, we will send it down the road to Wes Johnson and 3D, who will have the call.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one there for sure. That Wasey Reeves is going to have a big game against North Carolina. And this kid, Caleb Wilson, have you seen him, Dougie? He is fantastic. A young freshman is electric the way he plays above the rim.
I got to excuse myself. Wes Durham. I'm thinking Wes Johnson, the former Illinois and Syracuse basketball player. Wes Durham. He's an institution in the city of Atlanta. He and Dennis Scott have a home game today coming up at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I think everybody knew exactly who you were talking about, the legend Wes Durham, for sure. He was around Carolina basketball when I was in school 40 years ago.
He was. His daddy, the longtime voice of the Tar Heels, Woody Durham.
That's
an
right.
Institution, and the apple hasn't fallen far from the tree. Wes is himself an institution around the Atlantic Coast Conference and has been for many, many years. Well, they got tangled up as they stopped now to clean up the perspiration off the hardwood. Siulepa was the first on the floor. Nick Davidson as well there. Ace Buckner saying, give me that.
Dude, that's what I love about college basketball. These kids will dive on the floor for that loose ball. In the NBA, they just want to reach for it, right? They don't want to go down there and bang a knee or an elbow. But in college, these kids are diving on the floor, wrestling for that basketball. And again, there's the Clemson defense. That's exactly what we've had for 40 minutes, right? Anytime the Pittsburgh Panthers, they get it inside, they just swarm to the ball and they punch it away.
And that allows for you to withstand. Like right now, they've gone 3.5 minutes without a field goal. But if your defense is consistent, you can weather some of those droughts.
Yeah, I mean, they only give up 65 points a game. They're going to be well below that number today. Right now, as Pitt's stuck on 52.
Witherspoon steps into a three and misses badly. We've seen a number of those from Pittsburgh this afternoon.
So Roman Siulepa working hard on the offensive glass. He got himself going for a little bit, and then he picked up that fourth foul and had to go back to the bench. And that's about all she wrote. There's only a couple differential between the shot clock and the game clock. But people that are here that brave the cold weather and the snow saw the Tigers come out and play a great game defensively, and they play as a team. And it's fun to watch, sit here courtside, and be able to call the action with you here today, Doug.
No doubt. The defense of Clemson holding Pittsburgh to 20% from three-point land, 5 for 25. And they got enough offense, as they normally do, from enough different players. Nick Davidson, Carter Welling into double figures. A little bit from a lot of guys, and Brad Brownell's team on the verge of winning its 18th game in a row and improving to 8-1 in conference play. They defend right to the final whistle. Ace Buckner poked it away. Pitt has 2 seconds. They won't take a shot, and that will do it. 63-52, Brad Brownell's Clemson Tigers with a victory, his 200th as the head coach when they have played here at Little John Coliseum.
Yeah, wonderful team to watch. Just a joy. Coach Capel's going to have to get in that lab. They got to go.